That $500 bug-out bag on the store shelf is mostly marketing. It is heavy, and half of it never gets used. I carried a real one downrange. Special Forces builds light, redundant, and cheap, so I stripped a full survival kit down to doctrine. Every item here comes from Walmart, Harbor Freight, a dollar store, or a gas station. One of them costs $1.25. It holds 2 liters of water. Most people throw it in the trash. By the end, you build a better bag than the expensive one, and you do it for under $150. While your neighbors buy brand names, you build a system. Start with garbage bags. Yes. Garbage bags. A 2-pack of 3mm contractor bags costs about $2 at a dollar store or Walmart. You look at them and see trash. A green beret looks and sees 4 survival tools. Let me show you. First, a rain poncho. Cut 1 hole for your head. Pull it on. Now your core stays dry in a downpour. Second, a shelter roof. String it between 2 trees with cord. You just made a lean-to. Third, a ground sheet. The cold, wet ground pulls heat out of you all night. Put a barrier between you and the dirt. Fourth, a water catch. Spread it open in the rain and collect gallons you can filter later. Now here is why this beats expensive gear. A wet body loses heat about 25 times faster than a dry one. Hypothermia can start near 50 degrees Fahrenheit when your clothes are soaked through. That is not a deep winter problem. That is a cold, rainy afternoon in fall. People spend $40 on a brand name poncho that does 1 job. You spent $2 and got 4 jobs. That is the whole idea behind this bag. Cheap, light, many uses. This is the mindset that keeps you alive when the fancy gear is still in the box. Running total. $2. That $2 bag is only the start, and everything else I know sits in a printable guide I made for you in the description. Now the bag itself. Everything you own rides in here. So do not waste money in the wrong place. You do not need a $300 tactical pack covered in straps. You need a bag you can carry for many miles without breaking down. Walk into an Army-Navy surplus store or a Walmart. A solid day pack runs about $12. Here is the rule the pros live by. Loaded and packed, your bag should weigh about 10% of your body weight. For a 200-pound adult, that is 20 pounds, not 1 ounce more. Go heavier, and your body pays for it. You burn more calories with every step. You drink more of your water. You move slower when speed keeps you alive. And a bag too heavy to run with becomes a bag you leave in the car. A bag in the car during an emergency is a bag you do not have. So pick straps that fit your frame. Pick a size that holds your kit and no junk. Test it, load it up, and walk a mile. If your shoulders scream, lighten it now, not later. Your legs will thank you when it counts. One more thing. Do not buy a bag in bright colors. A camouflage or gray pack lets you blend in and avoid attention. In a crisis, you do not want to look like a walking supply store. Stay gray, stay quiet, move like you belong there. Running total, $14. Here is one that stops people cold. Condoms, non-lubricated ones. A 3-pack costs about $1.25 at any gas station or dollar store. I'm not joking with you. This is real doctrine. The United States Army Survival Handbook lists them as legitimate survival gear. Here's why. 1 condom holds up to 2 liters of water. Think about that. 2 liters in something that folds flat and weighs almost nothing. You tie it off at the top. You slip it inside a sock so the thin latex does not burst. Now you have a backup canteen for pocket change. But it does far more than carry water. It keeps your tinder and matches bone dry in a storm. Stretch it over a wound as an emergency glove. Pull it over the muzzle of a rifle to keep out mud and rain. That is 1 item doing 4 jobs. Most people carry a single hard bottle. They drink it down and run dry between water sources. You carry a flat water bag that fits in a coin pocket. When you find a stream, you can haul 2 extra liters with you. 2 liters of water, $1.25. That gap between what it costs and what it does is the whole point of this list. Running total, $15.25. Water will try to kill you long before hunger ever does. Remember the order of survival. 3 days without water and your body shuts down. So your job is simple. Make bad water safe to drink. Your primary tool is a Sawyer Mini, about $20 at Walmart. This little filter is the heart of your water plan. It filters down to 0.1 microns. That is small enough to strain out bacteria and protozoa completely. And it is rated for up to 100,000 gallons. Read that number again. 100,000 gallons of clean water for $20. Now compare that to the mistake most people make. They buy a $500 gravity filter system that lives in the garage. It never leaves the house. When they have to move, they have nothing. You carry a filter the size of a candy bar. It screws right onto a standard water bottle. It sips straight from a creek or a puddle. It fits in a cargo pocket. This is the single most important water tool you own. Learn it. Test it at home. Know how to backflush it when it slows down. Treat it like the lifeline it is. One more tip. Never store your filter wet in freezing weather. Ice cracks the tiny fibers and ruins it silently. Keep it warm against your body in the cold. A dead filter that looks fine is worse than no filter at all. Running total, $35.25. Now you need something to carry water and to boil it. Here is where people go wrong. They grab a fancy insulated bottle. It keeps their coffee hot for 12 hours. It also cannot go near a fire. So buy a single-wall stainless steel bottle instead. About $8 at Walmart. Single-wall is the key word. It means you can set the bottle right down in the coals. Bring the water to a rolling boil. 1 full minute at a boil kills everything living in it. Bacteria, viruses, parasites, all dead. Now count what you have. The filter is one way to clean water. The fire and this bottle are a second way. That is redundancy, and redundancy is what saves you when one method fails. Here's the warning. A double-wall insulated bottle can build pressure over a fire. It can rupture. A single-wall bottle just heats and boils. So leave the fancy one at home. The plain $8 bottle does more real work. Fill it. Boil in it. Drink from it. Simple and bomb-proof. Here's a bonus use. That same bottle heats water for warmth. Fill it with hot water at night. Wrap it in a sock. Tuck it inside your jacket or your sleeping layer. Now it warms your core for hours while you rest. Running total, $43.25. Your filter is not invincible. It can clog with silt. It can freeze overnight and crack the fibers inside. So you carry a third way to treat water. Purification tablets. A bottle of 50 tablets costs about $5 at Walmart. The drill is easy. Drop the tablets into your dirty water. Wait about 30 minutes. Now the bacteria and viruses are dead. This is not paranoia. This is survival school doctrine. They drill one phrase into you. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. One method is not a plan. It is a wish. If your only filter fails, you are drinking straight from the ground and rolling the dice on dysentery. Most people pack a single filter and think they are covered. You now treat water 3 separate ways. You filter it, you boil it, you chemically kill it. The tablets weigh almost nothing. They cost you $5. And the day your filter clogs in the field, they are the difference between drinking safe water and getting violently sick. One honest warning. Iodine and chlorine tablets do not kill everything. They struggle with one nasty parasite in cloudy water. So use them as your backup, not your first choice. Filter first when you can. Chemicals second. Boil when it truly matters. Running total, $48.25. Fire does 4 things for you. It gives you heat. It boils your water clean. It cooks your food. And it signals for help. That is too important to leave to one tool, so you build your fire kit in layers. Start with the easiest layer. A 3-pack of Bic lighters. About $4 at Walmart. A single lighter throws well over 1,000 flames. Keep one in the bag. Keep one on your body. Keep one in the glove box. Here's the mistake people make. They buy the complicated fire tool and skip the simple one. They want to feel like a survivalist. But when you are cold and your hands are shaking, you do not want a spark and a prayer. You want a flame in 1 second. A lighter gives you that. Use the easy tool first. Save the hard skills for when the easy tool is gone. There's no bravery award for making fire the slow way when a lighter sits in your pocket. Keep your lighters warm too. A cold lighter fights you. Butane gets sluggish in freezing air. So carry one against your body in winter and check the fuel level before you ever pack it. An empty lighter is dead weight and a false sense of safety. Running total, $52.25. A flame is useless without something to catch it. Wet leaves and green wood will beat you every time, so you carry tinder that laughs at rain, petroleum jelly and cotton balls. A small jar of jelly and a bag of cotton run about $2.50 at a dollar store. Here is how you build it. Work the jelly deep into a cotton ball until it is fully soaked. Now, the cotton is packed with fuel. When you need it, pull the ball apart to expose the dry inner fibers. One spark catches those fibers instantly. Then, the jelly feeds the flame. Each ball burns for about 4 to 5 minutes. That is plenty of time to get damp kindling going. Here's the science. The cotton is the wick. The petroleum jelly is the fuel. Together, they burn hot and long, even in wind. Store-bought fire cubes cost 5 times as much and do the exact same thing. You made a dozen for pocket change. Stuff them inside one of your condoms to keep them perfectly dry. Now your fire starts even after a river crossing. Running total, $54.75. Stop for a second. Look at what you've spent. 8 items in, and you're still under $55. That's water you can drink 3 ways. That's fire you can start 3 ways. That's shelter and warmth in your pack. One brand name. Filter alone costs more than everything you've bought so far. This is the part the gear industry does not want you to notice. Cheap and redundant beats expensive and fragile. Keep going. It only gets better from here. Now, the backup layer for your fire. A wet lighter is a dead lighter. Cold, stiff thumbs cannot roll a tiny metal wheel. So you add a ferrocerium rod, about $5 online or at a sporting goods counter. You scrape it hard with the spine of your knife. It throws a shower of sparks near 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It works when it is soaking wet. It gives you tens of thousands of strikes over its life. This is the fire source that does not quit when the weather turns ugly. Here is the contrast. Most people carry one lighter and nothing behind it. When that lighter fails, their whole plan fails with it. You now have 3 ways to make fire. The lighter for speed, the tinder to catch, the ferro rod for when everything is wet and cold. Practice with it in your backyard before you ever need it. Learn the angle, learn the scrape. The cold weather does not get a vote when you have this. Wrap a strip of tape around one end for a better grip. Store your ferro rod with your tinder in the same pouch. When your hands are numb, you want everything in one place. Fumbling in the dark and cold wastes the minutes that matter most. Running total, $59.75. Shelter beats food every single time. Remember the order. You have 3 hours in harsh cold before your body fails. You have 3 weeks before hunger kills you, so warmth comes way before calories. Carry warmth you can deploy in seconds. A Mylar emergency blanket, about $1.25 at a dollar store. It weighs under 2 ounces, and it reflects up to 90% of your body heat back at you. That is the trick. It does not make heat. It traps the heat you are already producing. Wrap it around your shoulders, and you feel the difference in minutes. Now stack it with what you already have. The trash bag becomes your shelter. The cotton balls start your fire. The blanket holds your warmth. 3 cheap items working as one system against the cold. People die of exposure while carrying nothing at all. You carry a heat reflector for $1 and change. Keep 2 in the bag. 1 for you. 1 for someone you love. One warning on these. The cheap ones tear easily, so handle it with care and do not crumple it hard. If it rips, tape the tear and keep using it. A patched blanket still reflects your heat. A blanket left at home reflects nothing. Running total, $61. 1. Duct tape. You knew this one was coming. A roll costs about $4 at Harbor Freight. Do not throw the whole heavy roll in your bag. Wrap a few feet around your water bottle to save space and weight. Now here's everything it does for you. It patches a rip in your pack before it dumps your gear on the trail. It splints a broken finger by taping it to the finger beside it. It holds a wound dressing tight when you have no other way, and it stops the blister that ends your walk. Pay attention to that last one. More marches get slowed by feet than by bullets. That is a fact. When you feel a hot spot forming on your heel, stop. Put a strip of tape right over it. Now, the friction rubs the tape instead of your skin. The blister never forms. One $4 roll does a dozen different jobs. Figure the cost per job, and it is almost nothing. Most people never think of tape as survival gear. You now know better. Buy the good tape, not the dollar bargain roll. Cheap tape loses its stick in heat and cold. A quality roll holds when it counts. And write notes on the silver side with a marker. Leave a message. Mark a trail. Tag your gear. Running total, $65. You need one good knife, not a collection. 1. Skip the $200 blade with the celebrity name and the display box. Buy a Morik Niv Companion, about $14 at Walmart. It has a strong full spine and a razor Scandinavian grind. It is tough enough to batten through small wood. That means you place the blade on a log and tap the spine with a stick. It splits kindling for your fire. It carves tent stakes and trap triggers. It preps your tinder into fine curls. It processes your food. Here's the truth about knives. A trained hand with a $14 Mora will outwork a tourist with a $500 Safe Queen. The expensive blade sits home because the owner is scared to scratch it. Your Mora goes to work. A knife is a tool, not jewelry. Keep it sharp with a cheap stone. Keep it on your belt, not buried in the bag. When you need a blade, you need it now. Learn to baton before you need it. Set the edge on the wood. Tap the spine with a solid stick. Let the blade do the splitting. And always cut away from your body. A knife wound in the field with no help is a real emergency. Running total, $79. Here is one you will not find in most survival videos. Ibuprofen. A bottle of 100 pills costs about $4 at Walmart. Troops have a nickname for it. Ranger candy. Some call it corpseman candy. Some call it vitamin M. Why does a pain pill earn a spot in a survival bag? Because pain is a mobility killer. And in an emergency, if you cannot move, you cannot survive. A rolled ankle does not have to stop you. A wrenched back does not have to pin you down.